Hey guys, we're going to be going back to the zoo in this video, the Wicked Zoo Bird Boss. This is the only boss it seems like people are having problems with. I've noticed some comments on YouTube, Discord, etc. This is the only one people are not easily damage capping. The other three seem to be no problem for most players. So we're going to go with another team. So we're going to be using Auron this time to carry this. Mine's only EX2, it's all we need. He should be able to very safely damage cap this. And with the party I'm using, you'll notice I'm using an empty party slot. That allows you to add another finisher if maybe your gear isn't as good, maybe you're using like a different breaker or something, not quite as high. Yeah, so I'm leaving a party slot empty. If you're not damage capping, definitely add another finisher or a strong chainer or another buffer. But although we've basically got all the buffs on this party. But yeah, add whatever you need in that extra party slot. I'm just giving like the team template to get it done. So to start off, we're going to use Lara Croft 2 shots in the air. It's a 200% bird killer buff, so we can steal that. Now, if you don't have Lara Croft, as you saw in the first video, Wakka has a 200% buff you can steal. You can also use AoE bird buffs. For example, Bulwark is wonderful here. He also does the wind support. But Bulwark has a 150 AoE buff. You don't even need Zaan. You could also use Lightning Fast Zidane, a 150 AoE bird buff. Or if you went crazy on the new Fina banner, at EX2 she does 160% bird killer. There's lots of ways to get bird killer. Now we're going to use Ferris to Pirates Ahoy to fill her LB gauge. She's going to be for the wind field, which is probably super overkill, but we're just showing you all the ways to buff up your damage here. Behemoth is going to physical cover, Departed Kings. The boss does status effects and stop, so you want to buff to immune those. Behemoth handles that nicely, and then King's Barrier for a resist. Zaan will critical the bird killer off of Laura. And we can just guard Auron on turn 1. We don't really need anything yet. So we're going to cover the physical with Behemoth and evade it. There we go. Alright, so we're going to go to the base form with Ferris and use her base form LB. That's going to put up a wind field for the kill turn. Also, it's going to deal a little bit of damage. Now, my Ferris is completely naked because I did not want to push thresholds or kill the boss. Obviously, if she's geared for damage, that wouldn't quite work out so well. You might actually kill the boss by doing her LB. But a naked Ferris, you're totally fine. So we're going to have Laura go back to the base form where she's dual wielding, and she'll just fill her LB gauge with normal attack. Behemoth can just do Almighty Guard just in case we take damage here. We're going to use Auron to Magnus himself with Guardian's Duty. That's a 50% wind amplify. And Zaan can just go ahead and spread that buff with Project and Mirror to share that bird killer for later. We don't really need anything else to steal, because all the rest of the buffs Auron would do on his own. So there's some attacks on Behemoth. He's immuning them, so that's great. We're now going to go to the shift form with Laura, and we're going to do Volatile Ammunition. That's going to do a 90% defense break. If you don't have Laura, use your best defense break possible, like Venera, Hawkeye, etc. Or an 89 from Cacteria is fine too. We're going to use Aero Cannon on Ferris. That's a 130 Wind Imperil for more damage. We're also going to use Behemoth from an Esper to do the Imperil spell, because we're going to be using a water chain, and we need to imperil the boss to water so that we can properly chain with Ferris on the kill turn. Zaan can just guard here, and we're going to use Auron to Typhus' Spirit. Now this might be overkill. We probably don't need Typhus' Spirit. You probably don't need Ferris' Field. Auron should be able to damage cap this super easily by himself. We only need 2 billion. I'm not sure how much we're going to deal, but it's probably going to be more than 2 billion. I guess we're about to find out. So we're going to chain Auron. We're going to triple bolting with Behemoth. Now make sure you're using single target chainers. Another thing I've seen people know, because these bosses are really squishy, if you're using AoE chainers, and the AoE will stop casting when the boss dies, which is bad. So single target chainers for your chain count score. That way the chain doesn't stop. So we're going to triple bolting with you. Back to the base form with Laura, where we're going to triple bolting. And we're going to use Ferris to Blue Wave, which is water. You've got to imperil the boss to water or it won't work. But we did imperil last turn. So Auron's LB is like one of the slowest in the game. So we're going to send his SLB, and we're going to just wait a really long time. Now we're going to go ahead and send our chainers. And Auron should cap in there for somewhere. I didn't see how much we capped. Hopefully a lot. Let's find out. That should have been a 100 count chain score. We need 2 billion, and we did 4.7. So yeah, you definitely don't need all the gear and support units that I used here. You know, Auron easy caps this big time with this SLB when you get it ready. Yeah, as you can see, 1 SLB on Auron. All we need is 2 billion. We did 4.7. I did kind of go heavy on the support, which obviously you don't really need. I had an empty party slot as well, which we could have added like more damage or something. I don't know. So here's the party. So base form of Ferris is just using Blue Wave. Shift form is completely naked. Now you kind of want to keep her naked to do it this way because you don't want her LB to like deal a lot of damage during the setup. So yeah, if you gear her base form for like, you know, big boy evocation finish for LB damage, you might kill the boss when you do her field, and we don't want that. And because Auron is so slow, we got to do her before the kill turn or it won't work. So naked Ferris, and she did her thing. Behemoth, full evasion, passive provoke, safety bit in case the boss does death. I don't know what these bosses do. I know the boss does some status effects and stop. And Behemoth was chosen because he covers, he does immunity buff. Not that one. And resist buff if you needed it. But immunity buff, he covered. Any support change. He's like just a really convenient unit here. If you don't have him, you know, really anyone is fine. You probably don't even need a tank. You can use like Mirage or something. There's not really a lot going on with this boss. Zahn, passive provoke. No, ignore that. No provoke. I don't know why I said that. It was on my mind. No provoke. He's just chaining. Got a wind weapon. By the way, Behemoth also using a wind weapon. You could do an AoE imbue or like steal an imbue with the Craftsman's Book on Zahn and spread it. You don't have to do wind weapons. I just did wind weapons for the easiness. So there you go. Lara Croft, wind weapon. Base form, dual wielding with her TMR, so she can fill her LB gauge easily. Shift form, totally naked. Bird Killer and Breaker, and that's it. And then Auron, he carried the fight. EX2. Chain cap up, you know, LB damage, etc. against birds. I gave him Typhus of Spirit. We overcapped by so freaking much. That was super not important, but if you have it, why not use it? And then, you know, one of the cool cards. I don't have his own card. It takes EX3. Maxed LB, 275 Avian Killer, and we're on Tetris Sylphide. So there you go. Another option. And yeah, that last party slot, add whatever you want. Add Roberta and jump on the boss. Add Skye, jump on the boss. Add an off-element finisher like Sephiroth or Esther, and actually Esther is any element. Yeah, if you have Esther, it should be easy to cap as well. Just you know, whatever you need to do to cap this boss. Wind damage and Bird Killer is where it's at. So okay, hope it helps. See you next time.